Hi guys, Jared here. I hope you've all been having a good Halloween, um, and I'd like to do this video to talk about some like animated Halloween episodes that I've been watching. I did put up a post on here and also on like my Facebook saying that I'd be watching these, but I'd just like to talk about these because these are like the best Halloween episodes for me, and they're my favorite cartoons really in general. So I'd like to first start off as the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes. So this is a collection of four of them. So this contains Treehouse of Horrors 5, 6, 7, and 12 randomly. But of course, there've been many other Treehouse of Horrors, and I really do love those episodes where they have three stories that are kind of spooky or something, and they're non-canon, so it's like stuff that happens in that doesn't affect anything that will happen in like the rest of the series. And they're really great to watch. Like for example, on this one I really like. There's the Shining parody. Like that's a really great fun. And there's like I remember Time and Punishment with Homer with the time traveling like toaster, and he goes back to dinosaur times and kills something, and that like changes the whole world. Completely. Each time he keeps going back, he keeps changing it. And you have stuff like Ned Flanders ruling the world and stuff like that. So that's fun. And five. They have like the Nightmare on Evergreen Terrace, the Nightmare on Elm Street parody, where you have groundskeeper Willie, as Freddy Krueger. Basically, that's a lot of fun. And there's a Homer cubed, with Homer in like going through a 3D world, and your Bart as well. And then like at the end, Homer goes into basically a live action world. So that's a lot of fun. And there was one with Lisa with like her tooth, um, and a whole world grows out of it. Yeah, that's great. Uh, Another one. It's not on this DVD, I don't think, but there's one with like Ned Flanders turns out to be the devil, and Homer in hell, and he's being forced to eat all the donuts. Yeah, that's really funny. So yeah, the Treehouse of Horrors, they're always really creative and they're always really fun. Yeah, they're great to watch around Halloween time. So yeah, Treehouse of Horrors are great. The other one, another favorite cartoon of mine was SpongeBob, which I'll name two Halloween episodes. They're ones that I have to watch every Halloween now. One is Scaredy Pants, which is this is mostly based around, which is that episode there. This was the first like Halloween episode they did, and it was in the first season, and it was a regular length episode because this was the first season. They didn't start doing double length episodes until the Christmas episode in season two, but still, I think Scaredy Pants is a very good Halloween episode. Where they first introduced the Flying Dutchman as well, and he's a great character. He's voiced by Doyle Murray, who's Bill Murray's brother. And it's kind of funny because the Flying Dutchman being a ghost, and his brother Bill Murray was in Ghostbusters. And I do know Brian Doyle Murray did have a small role in Ghostbusters 2 actually, and he's been in a lot of stuff. He's been in stuff with his brother Bill. I remember he was the mayor in Groundhog Day, and I think he might have also been in Caddyshack, also with Bill Murray. And he had a small role in the first Vacation, but I think people might remember him more for being the boss in Christmas Vacation. So yeah, that's I guess the more classic SpongeBob Halloween episode. But then there's a more modern one that they did, The Legend of Bikini Bottom, which was great. Bringing back the Flying Dutchman, who I just said, and it was in stop motion. I think this was kind of a sequel to there was a stop motion Christmas episode that they did. But I think this is even better than the Christmas one that they did because this one's not just stop motion; it's also got some like live action hands as well and some like puppetry as well. So that's really nice. And and I know obviously it's a lot more modern, but I think this was kind of the era when SpongeBob had kind of a resurgence in quality. Yeah, I'll say this is the legend of Bikini Bottom, not to be confused with an anthology series of episodes they did, which called The Legend of Bikini Bottom. That anthology was in the era when SpongeBob was getting kind of bad, but yeah, I'm somebody who thinks that shortly after the second movie, it had kind of a resurgence in quality, which was when this came out. And I think the reason it had a resurgence in quality was not just because Steven Hillenburg, the creator, returned to the show, but also like some of the writers from the earlier seasons returned, and also the fact that they brought in new people to work on the show, and those new people were clearly big fans of the early seasons. So that's why I think it got good again. I know more recently, some people would say it got bad again. I'd say some of the more modern stuff, the very recent stuff, is a bit more hit and miss. But I think this era, which this was like shortly after the second movie, I think this was kind of when it got good again. So I think this is kind of the better of the Halloween episodes, but Scaredy Pants is still the more classic episode. And I love like the Flying Dutchman stuff, and how he tries to scare SpongeBob and Patrick, and they try to tell themselves that scary equals funny, so they just laugh at the whole thing. The Flying Dutchman has a problem with that, so that's why he wants to scare them. Yeah, it's just really a lot of fun, this one. And I think if you don't watch the newer SpongeBob's, then this one is one worth checking out. But this one, the Scaredy Pants, is a real classic. They might, I think, they've done other like spooky kind of episodes, but I believe those are the only ones that are like specifically set during Halloween. But those are my two favorite SpongeBob Halloween episodes anyway, and I have to watch those every Halloween now, honestly, even though that one's more modern. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this. I'd love to know if you like watching this stuff as well every Halloween, and yeah, I just hope you all have a great Halloween, guys. Thanks for watching, everyone, and bye.